You can't laugh at the start of the big intro, especially once I hit recording. But ladies and gentlemen, if you're wondering what the heck, yes, it's a professionally run show. My name is Rich Wilens. You're listening to Webinar Swaps. We are broadcasting live from the great state of Mississippi, just outside of Biloxi, in a beautiful town called Ocean Springs, where I invite you to come by and visit. I'll make sure you all get put up at the Hard Rock Hotel, which I just saw Casey and the Sunshine Band the other night. That's the way.
Very cool.
I like. Oh, who is that? I just heard a voice just come through my headphones. Ladies and gentlemen, is this Mitch Carson himself? Hello.
It is.
It is. It's Mitch Carson. Let's all give Mitch the one-handed clap, ladies and gentlemen. Mitch, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Rich.
Hey, you know what? You got a pretty strong statement right in front of me. Let me see if I'm reading that correctly. And pardon me if I put on my glasses. You know, they used to call me Four Eyes in high school. You should see these glasses. And they used to call me Four Eyes in high school, and then I got these glasses, so I didn't understand that. Then they called me Eight Eyes. Okay, fine. How to build a massive list of ladies and gentlemen, you're right, no more bad jokes. It says how to build a massive list of premium buyers in your niche and become the undisputed center of influence. That's pretty bold, Mitch. Can you really back that up, or are we just wasting our time?
Well, I would just ask your listeners, I mean, just to put in the mindset, have you ever wondered what it would feel like to have an endless supply of leads? And that's the crux of the program today. So,
well, you know, Mitch, back in the old days when they used to say an endless supply of leads, and I know you remember that, didn't they used to drop the phone book on your desk? Here's your leads.
Oh,
do you
why
not,
are you dating us? You did this last time. This is not nice.
I did do
yes,
that.
Very well. Smile and dial.
Yeah, smile and that's it all day long. You know, they used to call me Phone Pop because I always had one finger on the phone all the time. And I loved leads, but you know, so much time is wasted. Is this something that's concentrated that we can use these leads and just go out and just crush them and make some great turn these leads into buyers?
They are the best types of leads in that they are there because they want to be there. There's no hassle with them, and they're what you would call premium buyers, because they've already bought into you, and it's very specific to you. And you know, we're going to detail that very clearly, you know, during the time we have together, and of course interlaced with your jokes.
Right? Oh no, I'm not going to do that. In fact, what I'm going to do is back out, because you know, I have to tell you, every time I listen to you, and oh my God, Mitch, you know, you got so much, so much stuff that you've done, and you know, when I go through the book, The Silent Salesman, I mean, that was awesome, ladies and gentlemen. You can get that book, by the way. It's on Amazon. I'm sure it is, and all the stuff that you've done from being on the radio. I don't quite remember that, but I like CBS Radio in Los Angeles, 97.1. How were you doing? A talk show there?
Yes, I was. Saturday afternoons, 1 o'clock.
Wow. Yeah, you know, it sounds like you're old and you've done a lot of stuff. And ladies and gentlemen, I don't say that disrespectfully. I guess I should say experience, because nothing beats success like experience. And how do you get experience? By going out and doing it and making mistakes and doing it over and over again. And it sounds like you've done a lot of mistakes until you got to where you are. And this man is awesome, folks. Are you ready to go and hear what he has to say today? Everybody's saying, yeah, get on with it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to go ahead and back out of here. The storm is getting bad. I'm going to listen, take notes. I want this to work out, Mitch. I really want it. I'm halfway sold already. Convince me to go over the fence, okay?
I'm pushing.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mitch Carson to the program.
So let's start with what the agenda is for today's presentation and my promise to you. We're going to demonstrate 3 profitable niches to you, proven case studies, and discover how to find the money in your niche. And that's what's important, is the process, the very simple process that will enable you to do that. 3 money-making magnets, and how to follow the proven success plan, and how to get anyone to take your call. And what I mean by that is you're going to create your mindset will shift because of the power of what we're going to explain to you. Anyone or their personal assistant who's often hard to get to than the decision maker, will take your call. We'll show you that in a short while. So what I want to start with is a little incentive to stay on this presentation today, and it's my gift to you. Don't you like the red bow? This is my new book going out on Amazon. It's called Clients Forever. It sells for $24.95. It is yours free if you stay on the call till the end.
You are still on the first screen. Mitch, sorry. You are still on the first screen.
Where, here?
Yeah, we are still seeing your first screen.
Okay. Just here, correct? Rich?
I can see is how to build a massive list of premium buyers in your niche, the first screen. That's what I said.
Okay. How about the agenda and promise?
No, we don't see the next screen.
No.
I don't know why. Just advancing through this. Is it time delay?
I don't think it's time delay.
Hello, sorry.
Well, Sadiq, you put it up on your end, and then I'll just I'll speak off yours if we need to do that.
How are we doing, guys? Is there something I could do to help? I just is it not working? What's happening?
Somehow, yeah, the screens and I'm here, and I think you all hear me perfectly. It's the we went through the first slide got stuck.
Huh, all right. Well, I'll tell you what.
They're not seeing it. Yeah.
Okay, I can see the slide, but tell you what, just go ahead and in your PowerPoint, just turn it off and then turn it back on. I'll go ahead and I'll take the screen and then tell me.
You want me to shut the PowerPoint down?
Yeah, shut your PowerPoint down and then reboot it up. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, can you see this picture? Let me see. It's funny that just happened to be on my screen. Yeah, that's JV Zoo. That's Valerie Duval. She is one of our spokespeople at JV Zoo. We have an event coming up in September. It's called Marketing Mayhem Live, and you might guess that I have a little bit of something to do with JV Zoo. Actually, they signed my checks. Larry says she's Val. Zach says, I hear Sadiq. Zach, you get a shout out. I mean, Sadiq, you get a shout out. Let's see. Hey, we got some people who are trying to help you out here, Mitch.
And I'm live. Do you see my screen again?
Well, I'm going to go ahead and change it back. So hang on.
Okay.
I'm going to go ahead and change it back. Can't believe I just went to
and show my screen.
Now go ahead and show your screen.
Okay.
And
I'll start broadcast, and we're there. Are we up?
Yeah, you're up. I can see it. Can you change? Look at that.
Now it's working. Yeah, wonderful.
Okay.
Do one more. There you go. Want to start this over?
So this is the promise. I verbalized it, so I'll show it in writing. Awesome. Here we go. No, just small issue, nothing major. Okay. How to follow the proven success track and how to get anyone to take your call. This is what is so amazing. So we talked about my gift, and then this is the book that I'm going to give everybody who stays on the call in its entirety. We're going to give you the link at the end so you can get this immediately sent to you. Okay? And just in short, why should you listen to me? I mean, I've had the luxury of speaking on the stage with some very noteworthy marketers and business influencers over the years, one of whom was Dan Kennedy, Sir Richard Branson recently in London, J. Conrad Levinson, who is the guerrilla marketing author. The Donald shared a stage with him a few years back. Ali Brown was a client of mine. Bob Proctor I've worked with. Paul Hartunian, Bill Glazer, and those are just a few people I've had the experience of speaking all over the world, and it was kind of nice. And I published the book of The Silent Salesman. I had a radio show, as I mentioned, you mentioned for me, thank you, in Los Angeles on 97.1. And I've spoken on direct marketing in 9 countries in English and in Spanish, and also been entitled, because of all the successes and shortcomings that have come up, 9 figures in sales on television and infomercials. and published in over 250 magazines worldwide. And there's a list of those, including the Wall Street Journal. So again, I like to show proof. This is a quick shot of me fairly recently being interviewed by CNBC. Picture on the right was my show, 97.1 CBS Radio in LA, with one of the people I had as a guest on my show. Here was the book that I authored, came out in 2009 with John Wiley and Sons, and I would love to get your review after you read it. This is a picture of me on Home Shopping Network back in 1996 when I used to pitch products live. And folks, you learn about media and attention and what works and what doesn't work when you've got 5 million viewers watching your every move. So let me start with this. We are in a new environment today, one that's changing faster than ever before. And I think the speed is going to continue to change. So, you know, the way people consume information has changed dramatically. You know, getting trusted followers, clients, and customers, you know, as described earlier, is, you know, having an endless supply is something you want to seek, and it's just more difficult today. Radio, print newspapers, print magazines are disappearing. I mean, you can read about it in any online publication to explain how their predecessors, the print publications, if they haven't embraced online, are vanishing. And television has lost market share and continues to because of TiVo. So here's what's possible. How today, and this is what we're going to reveal today to you, how you can stand out and be the center of influence in your niche, in your category, be the #1 person, and how to get almost anyone's attention instantly. And I love this acronym of, well, I mean the saying actually, being treated like a welcome guest versus an annoying pest. When you call somebody, if you need to call from somebody, or more than likely because of the tools and techniques, strategies we're going to show you today, prospects and clients, people that buy from you, are going to be calling you. So you'll never fall in the category of being an annoying pest. And discover the perfect way that you're going to be able to take yourself and your clients with you where you want to go. And media attention that finds you, that is attraction marketing. And how would you like to build an international reputation being a local person? This is what is going to be revealed. And as I started it out, you know, wondering and seeing and experiencing endless leads and no hassle clients who never refund. Does this sound good or what? Okay, two of the business icons that were idols to me and to people that have been in the technology field. We've got Steve Jobs and Bill Gates smiling. Why? Because they're both billionaires. I'd smile a lot too, wouldn't you? And what did they know before the rest of us? Well, Steve listened to a wise man, and he accommodated him, and he complimented Steve. You know, thanks for making that tablet thing finally take off. You know, it's just a little cartoon depiction of Moses, you know, interacting with Steve Jobs, who of course created the iPad. Here he is in his glory days, announcing the iPad, you know, not too long ago. Remember, everything is changing very, very rapidly. And you may think, oh gosh, if we could have predicted the future. I mean, look at some of the niches, just to name a few. We've got dog training. A lot of people use that as an example because it is so huge. The pets, especially in America and in Europe, are gigantic in those niches. You know, the casino niche, the gambling niche, weight loss is an evergreen, endless niche. We've got 4X down there, and just above 4X, look at the guy. That's that whole big movement that took place about seduction and dating, to name a few. So it's not too late, and this is a recent study done about the boom niches that we are encountering right now. Pension funds. Now, any of you want to get in the pension fund business? It is anticipated to grow 40.5%. Iron ore mining. Now, you may think, well, how does that apply to me? The richest person in the world is about to overtake the richest man in the world. The richest lady is, okay, the richest person is in the iron ore business in Australia, but I don't think we're going to be getting into that business. She's going to be #1 wealthiest person in the world very shortly because of the growth of iron ore in Western Australia. Online shopping is a category that you may be interested in. Some of you are, I mean, if you're on Rich's list, you're more than likely in the e-commerce business, so you're in the right area. Digital publishing, which is what we're going to show you today and how we've had some amazing success, is anticipated to grow 12.7% because it's so new and people don't understand it, and this is the perfect time. This is at the tipping point, the beginning, riding the wave at the beginning, where we're going to show you what has happened in such a short period of time. Electricity generation, another big category. I don't know. And this source that did the survey was Ibis World, if you want to know. So you can you be part of these industries? You have to ask yourself, we're going to show you the digital publishing because it is something that the barrier to entry is not too great. It's not great at all. It doesn't exist. We're going to show you how easy it is. So let's look at the high competition niche, dog training. Look at the searches. This is just recently punched into Google in their search bar, about 250 million results. And that was found in 28 seconds. So most would determine that that's a very large niche. And then we look at the iTunes Store, which at this point is the largest digital library housing all the apps, all the magazines that are out there in the e-commerce world. And there's nothing on dog training right now. Now, if you go to dog training in Google, there are endless websites, but there are no magazines, no apps right now currently on dog training. So is this a huge opportunity? Even in one of these, it's an evergreen category. So there are opportunities in this new forum, this new media that hasn't been targeted very heavily yet. I mean, jump on it now because in 6 months it might be a different scenario. So what I'm going to share, and you be the judge and jury whether this is successful, and you also determine if this is the right fit for you after you see the success I had. Now, my quick story was I was invited in to represent this particular system that was developed by Susie Black, and you're going to meet her in our presentation today. Susie had a way to create digital media that I had not heard about before. She'd worked for over 10 years in the publishing and graphic arts business, working with private clients, getting their print publications, and embraced the new media of going digital. And I asked her, well, that's great. What kind of successes do you have? And she said, endless, but it's all private information because clients don't want their details shared. They've been so profitable with this. They don't want it public, so they don't want their competitors to know. So I said, well, we need to create a case study. And I said, so we walked through the steps, her process of how to determine where I was passionate, what I liked, and whether or not it was economically feasible and there was commercial value. Because what you're going to find is you can be interested in basket weaving, you can be interested in ant farming, but if there's no money in that niche, you got to pitch it, and you got to find something that makes sense. So I've always been an animal lover. Specifically, I like wild animals and exotics. It's just been a passion to go do that. You're going to see some of the pictures. I've sat on crocodiles, petted full-grown 600-pound tigers, sat on elephants, and I've lived a little bit of life on the edge. And I said, I'd love to look into wild animals. So we did some research and found that, look at that image, the tiger, the eye of the tiger, let that sit in. Is this making sense so far? I hope so, because this was my passion, were wild animals. So I looked into the niche, and what happened was I created this magazine that I followed through the process, a digital publication. It took less than 2 weeks to put together with Susie's advice, her system that I followed. And on the iTunes Store, where this was housed, where she helped me load it up, walk me through the process, because I thought it was confusing if I did it by myself, I had 4,500 downloads in just 3 days. This magazine was issue number 1. This was my result. And then during the next 2 weeks, I had over 17,000 downloads. Is this impressive or what? So again, you be the judge, you be the jury, if this makes sense for you. And in 7 weeks, I had 17,000 downloads of this magazine, all because I followed the simple instruction that she gave me. Because she had all the success of other clients, both in print and in the digital arena, that she couldn't share publicly because she was restricted because of the agreement she had with her clients. But I became a client first before I became the spokesperson. And now, this was just taken last week, a snapshot. After 13 weeks of being on the iTunes store, I've had 27,000 downloads. Would that work for you? Can you see how, get an idea with the inclusion of advertisers and a paid subscription, how I paid for this? So let's continue. Let's show some more proof. Right here, this is a snapshot inside iTunes with the new apps. As you see at the top corner left, Animal Sanctuary Magazine, issue 1, I was number 1 in the new category. In the What's Hot category, I was listed in the What's Hot category. They did not rank me number 1 because they didn't rank anybody. It was just how I fell. But in all iPhone apps in the free category, I was number 1. And then you see at the bottom, I was listed there as well. So huge success with this, all because I followed Susie's system. So what is the plan? I have to ask you, what are you doing in order to create and separate yourself from what you've always done, what all your competitors do? How do you stand out? How do you become the authority, the toll booth operator in your niche? How is it that you can create a reputation, a positioning that is unparalleled to anyone else? And I have to ask, look at this lady. She has influenced us all. Are you the center of influence? Has she done an outstanding job? And all because I followed a system. She followed a system and just stuck to it. She didn't give up. This man had a vision, and he created the center of influence, all built around this little device called the iPad. So I have to ask you, what makes you dance? And I, like you, have passions. I had a passion for wild animals, so I looked into how to achieve that and make it a reality following the system that was laid out. Your customers are a vibrant community, and many share your similar passions. Okay? So you've got to jump on that and find out what works for you. What is it you're passionate about? Albeit yoga, it could be dog training, it can be travel, whatever it is for you, and there are others that share your passion. Magazine readers love stories. I shared my story with you. There's a recent piece in my magazine all about saving an elephant in Sumatra that garnered worldwide support and exposure on the media. The media is always looking for stories. And do what you have to in your marketing, in your business, stand out from the crowd. Always be the separator. New technologies mean people are tuning out messages. I mean, when I started watching television in the 60s, yes, I'm a little bit older, more mature, I like to say, we had about 5 channels that you manually changed on the television. It was an RCA Victor. That was it. And then the Indian came on at about 11 o'clock, and that was all. The frozen frame was an Indian. Okay, compare that today, you have hundreds of channels on cable. You have, of course, network. You have endless radio stations. You have podcasting. You have internet TV. You have everything possible. But there is one that will separate and get the attention and huge click-throughs to your clients, and that is in the digital media, in the app area that we're going to detail for you. It's how you communicate. And these are people that want to hear what you have to share. So the real simple formula when you look at any type of business venture, I mean, and this is the way I look at it, is math, is ROI, the return on investment. How you turn $1 into 3, to make it very simple. So what is the value of being the #1 authority in your market, in your niche, in your category, in your business sector? And can you do this? If you follow the steps, you can see how easy this is, because I knew nothing about it, followed a system that was explained to me, very simple, and within 2 weeks I was up and running and profiting. So why was I so successful with Animal Sanctuary Magazine? Because A, I was passionate, and this was something I wanted to do. This is me in Thailand. Now, the look on my face is the beginning of fear, because this 600-pound tiger was in a sanctuary up in Chiang Mai, Thailand. That's where I was with this, and he was relieving himself and thinking about eating me. But I got out of there quickly, and you don't see the trainer that's in the behind the scenes of this right now about to save me. So what were the exact steps? 1, 2, 3, and I like to build things that are simple. A, B, C, 1, 2, 3. You find the right keywords. You know, no, this is not an SEO course, but you got to embrace what people are searching for, so you know if there's value. Commercially viable phrases, meaning Animal Sanctuary Magazine had commercial value, and I'm going to show it to you, and you have eye-catching images. Overlooked oftentimes in marketing. Got to do something to catch the eye. We're a visual creature. So let's talk about using the right keywords. Critical. First step, it is the base of our system. It's what we stand on before we can get up and walk. Look at these as the shoes that are planted on the ground. You got to be comfortable. You got to know they got to walk you in the right direction. So we were able to achieve because we followed the system, and we also got on iTunes. Look at this. We got first page rankings for the phrase Animal Sanctuary Magazine, which had quite a few searches. And step 1, we punched it into the AdWords, the keywords tool that is available through Google, and we had a global monthly searches and low competition of 1 million. That worked for me. And then what I did was I looked at whether or not people were paying for this phrase, because then that's the recipe that advertisers are going to be interested in. You know, that is what you have to find, and the solution for their dollars. They've got to make money if they're going to advertise with you, or if people are going to be searching for this. So I had to look for commercially viable key phrases. So step 2 is I looked for this category, and I saw in the one column, as you can see here, the cost per click, and that's the indication. That's what Google charges, or what you have to pay to have somebody click on your ad related to that keyword phrase on that particular search page for Google. I want to keep it as simple as possible. So I wanted to check this out. So here's an example. On animal cruelty, which is it's a common category, if you had an advertiser in there, they would have to pay the equivalent of $1.29 to be on your page, or on a page of Google right there, paying pay per click. So the third step, so I then determined, because of this, show me the money. The money was there clearly, over $1 per click in all related phrases that I could include in this magazine. And then I had to come up with an eye-catching image to draw people in. You know, there's the big eye. It draws you in, literally and figuratively. So this was the raw image that we found as our first edition, and it worked, because all the discussions we have about the, you know, you got to have the eye of the tiger. Well, here we are. Look at that. You can see the whiskers very clearly. You can see the hair. The eyes draw you in, the coloring of this. So think about that. It's very specific. Versus, this is a cute tiger, but you're distracted by the ball, the hand on the ball. There's, you know, burnt grass behind. Not as good. This is great. This is okay. Cute tiger, much better. Okay? So what gold was found for you? I want to show you some amazing opportunities that are there, because we are in the beginning stages. Weight loss. Look at this. People are paying big bucks. This is a tool I use called SE Cockpit, which gives me up-to-date information on any keyword that I'm looking at, any name, what the cost per click cost per click, whether there's video related to it, how many monthly searches are there, because I've got that. It's like a weight loss surgery, which people are always going through that, and they, the tummy tucks and the related category, has 9,900 searches per month, paying, if you want to advertise there, $8.37. So if you wanted to have weight loss surgery magazine ads in there, could be charged very heavily, and you can make money. So this is a huge niche, an evergreen niche. Weight loss is ongoing, and there aren't that many in the iTunes store right now. It is just beginning, so the opportunities are there. I mean, there are so many categories you can look at. This is an interesting niche. There was a lady that invested in the system recently. She is an American that lives over in Paris for 30 years. Probably a woman in her early 50s, I would guess. Didn't ask her, but just based on her experience, we determined that was approximately her age. She has a lot of experience coming from Indiana, in America, the heartland, living in Paris now, and it was about Paris or French lifestyle, which was the root keyword phrase. That's what we punched into the tool. Then what it revealed to us is people moving to Paris is where the money was. Look at this cost per click, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, column 6. CPC is what you see there under the AdWords column. This is where the commercial value is determined. There's huge money. If you want to look at just moving to Germany, people are paying $6.75. Moving to France from the USA, apartments in Paris, all these different, I mean, that's what people need. They need this information. They search for that in Google. Well, what if there was a magazine that was on French lifestyle, even on Paris accommodations, very specific? You could charge advertisers for this, because people who own apartments or want to rent their condos out, bang, they're paying you bucks to advertise because you can fill it. This is what people are paying. Okay, think about the advertising potential for you. Is this making sense? I mean, would this work for you, making this kind of money? I mean, I'm going to show you the money in a minute. What others have made, the success is all that matters. What's the return on investment? So think of it as a big silver platter, and if you're charging $2,000 per page, now remember, this is digital, this can add up. You can have unlimited pages because, again, it's digital. If you're in the print arena, you're hamstrung, you're limited, you're restricted, because you have to pay for printing, and you have to consider what it costs to post it, all these things. And digital, there's none of that. It is, you can determine based on the commercial value, and there's a formula for that, which we'll explain in detail, and you have unlimited pages. You can have this trailing off. So $2,000 unlimited pages for certain keyword phrases. And you can work affiliate deals. I'm sure if you've been a student or following Rich, he's explained it, had some people talking about affiliate deals. And think of my magazine adding, we're in negotiation right now with Hills, which is the biggest pet food company in America. They own Science Diet and all sorts of related products. If any of you who are pet lovers in there want to advertise, and they'll be a huge sponsor, and they're essentially an affiliate, selling their products, and the money just stacks up when you've got great affiliates on board. Okay, so we shared this with a well-known marketer named Alex Mendozian. His first publication comes out, I believe it's in the iTunes store waiting for approval, in about 2 weeks. And we went through the whole process of finding, his passion is creating millionaires. He's created over 100 millionaires in his years as a coach, as a teacher. Alex is a terrific teacher, very, very bright guy. So what we found through the searches, because we're helping him with his first publication, and of course all subsequent publications, is billionaire mentor. He raised the bar of the standard. And this is the cover of his first magazine. It's coming out any time now, and he's got all sorts of great content you see there. And it's about having a billionaire mindset. So we did the keyword research. This is what people are searching for. It's no longer the millionaire, it's the billionaire. One of the biggest coaches out of Canada, a man named Glenn Dietzel. He's got his first magazine coming out. He saw the opportunity and saw how easy it was to get this up and running. This is his first magazine, so we want to show you proof, case study after case study. There's another man who's got his hat on. His name is Brian Zimmerman, and he is the CEO of JV Zoo. I believe our host, Rich, knows him quite well. This is his first publication coming out. He saw the opportunity, wanted to be first to come out with his magazine, and all the affiliates that he works with JV Zoo. Work from home. That's what he is marketing, is the opportunity of how to make more money working from home. Cash is freedom, and that's the message he's communicating, a different message than Alex. They, in fact, can be collaborators, not competitors. Different market, but a great publication. This is a one-off publication that Susie put together for one of her clients recently. It's about how to find, the insider's guide to Vegas. Oftentimes people come from all over the world to experience Las Vegas. Beautiful spaces. The advertising on this was great. Here's another, that was an example, another piece of proof. Wholesaler, which is another client of hers in Australia, all they list are wholesalers. These are people looking to get their products out to stores, so they're advertising through this medium called wholesaler.com.au. You can see this, it's listed, and it's just it's a digital publication of all the wholesalers. They're the toll booth for all the people that have products selling into Australia. It's a great resource, and they saw a niche, did the keyword research, and came up with a publication that they're profiting from. So you may think, oh gosh, do I have to be big like Brian Zimmerman or Alex Mendozian or Glenn Dietzel, or I don't have a... There are big dollars in the smaller markets. Susie created this because of her own passion. She lives in Brisbane, Australia. Shop Brisbane magazine. It started out as a free publication, and it's a small market, but the advertising we're going to show you in a minute and how this profited was big. In a short period of time, she had 342 units downloaded on iTunes in just a week. Now, I want to show you that she grayed out certain areas of her PayPal account because that's not my business. But we want to show you the money that she did collect in her first issue. It has grown since. We just wanted to show you the first issue of this year. 1, 2, 3, $1,980 first issue, less than 10 hours a month. Can you see, is this making sense so far? Would that work for you to make that kind of money working 10 hours and working inside your passion? She wanted to support her local market in Brisbane and work the steps. Magazines mean recurring income because you sell advertising, you pop in, because it's digital, affiliate deals that create this recurring income. It's a model of continuity. That's a word that's used in the direct marketing field quite a bit. Continuity income. Subscriptions, advertising, affiliate sales. There are 3 revenue streams. Money magnets that we promise to share with you are available inside a digital system. So what were the exact steps used? You get to this place. The outcome is relaxation. It is more time with your family. It's financial freedom and creating a competitive advantage. And you can set this up on autopilot and have a lot of it done for you. So this creates more time and money for you. Does that sound good so far? So are you still playing it safe in your mindset? I like to do things, as I shared, I have sat on crocodiles multiple times in Thailand, and they're well fed. But are you playing it safe? Are you taking risks? Are you jumping out of your comfort zone in order to do the unusual to make outstanding results? Are you doing the usual? Same thing. Now, I made another promise. How do you guarantee a call with anyone? These are former presidents of South Africa. The most notable, of course, is Nelson Mandela on the right. And this technique, when you have a magazine, you are in power. You're in control. Why? Because you get to play to people's egos. E-G-O. I'll repeat it. Egos. And it's inside all of us. It's recognition, acknowledgement. We all live for those attaboys, the knowledge, attagirls, that we need attention. We want to be recognized. And it can be our achievements, it can be our looks, anything that's out there. So everybody's got it. This is the phrase, write this down, make a mental imprint. I want to put you on the cover of my magazine. Who would turn away that call until they found out more information? It may make sense for you to look at that. If you have, for example, a dog training magazine because you saw the opportunity, you're one of those early adopters, a fast action person, a fast action opportunist who sees this. The dog training, as we revealed, is available. If you then found somebody who is a big dog trainer, like this Hispanic guy that's on TV in America, Caesar, the dog whisperer, okay? You called his office, hint, 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 and you called and said, I want to put you on the cover of my magazine. Do you think this guy has an ego? Is he going to say no if you've got a dog training magazine? No, I don't want to be on the cover of your magazine. Are you kidding me? Of course he would. Perfect fit, huge celebrity. You're getting more out of it than he does. He gets to keep up his brand, grow himself, his exposure, his reach, his dollars, his popularity. You get to win because you've got a guy that's been on TV hundreds of times, is well respected and liked. He'll take your call. I mean, you may have to go through a gatekeeper first, but then you're going to get the guy, you're going to hear the woofing in the background, and he's going to take your call. Do you see how easy this is? See the power of this? You can't call this guy and say, look, I want to sell you stocks and bonds. You know how annoying that is? You'd be a pest. See how you'd be a welcome guest? Because you're hitting his ego. Think about that. Think about how you can profit from that using somebody, and how you can bring in the formerly famous. We've got the Donald. We've got the former president sitting there on the right. They're not as popular as they once were. They liked being in office. They would be interested in your magazine. You have to think about that. Not necessarily these people alone, but people that would fit your niche. Look at these. This is Clint Eastwood, Make My Day. We've got, of course, Michael Jordan. They aren't in the media as much as they once were. You think they have egos? I mean, at one time, Michael was the most recognized sports celebrity in the world. I think he liked that position in a big way. Wouldn't you? And if you could play to his ego and get him coverage again, he might take your call, or his office would, then to arrange a call. Clint Eastwood, who is a very nice man, from what I understand, does do a lot of work in helping others. Okay? So one of the burning questions that we're asked often with people, how do I create content? I don't really like to write. It's just not my strength. You know, I'm pretty good at talking, but I don't like to write. Well, you know, how easy is this for get this off your back, for if you're not a writer, to get this monkey off your back? Here I am at a place called Monkey Forest in Ubud, Bali, Indonesia, just recently, and I had that monkey on my back. So this just shows you how you can do something outrageous, and you handle these issues by becoming the publisher. Here's the current wealthiest man in the world, Carlos Slim Helú, out of Mexico. And he's about to be overtaken by the iron ore lady out of Australia, but you become the publisher of the magazine. Do you think Steve Forbes writes? No, he has writers on staff. He has contributors that are blessed to be part of the publication. Many write for free because of the prestige that it offers. In my publication, I have got some big-name people now that have been on television hundreds of times because I showed them my success. They want to be part of it. They love the idea, and I don't pay them a penny. So become the publisher. How do you create an easy cover story? The man on the left, there are three men, but the tallest one with the blue coat is a man named Mark Victor Hansen. He's the co-author of a series, a brand that has sold, I think the last number I heard, I don't know how accurate it is, but it's 160 million books. Last time I spoke to Mark, he was over the 140 million books with the whole brand of chicken soup with his partner Jack Canfield. He loves attention. And he'd smile and laugh, and I'd say it right in front of him, and he would just say, "Yes, Mitch, you're right," with his deep voice, and, "Yeah, you're right, Mitch. I love it," you know, because he wants to help people. That's what he'll tell you publicly, but he loves attention. He's got an ego, and you know, he has. I've hired him many times for presentations that he's from conferences that I've put on. He's a great speaker and an easy man to deal with. If you said you want to put him on the cover of your magazine, if your niche fits, he'll take your call, guaranteed. Just call Mark, Victor Hansen Enterprises. He's down in Costa Mesa, California. Guaranteed. He'll want to be on the cover of your magazine, and he's a very nice man. Full endorsement on my end. I've worked with him many times. Brian Tracy, who's down in San Diego. And then on the right, we've got Jack Canfield, who's the other co-author. He's up in Santa Barbara, California. All three of these men are in California. I guess they like the weather. They are all very nice men, worked with them all, and they would love to be on the cover of your magazine as long as it's ethical and moral and meets their standards, and I'm sure everybody on the call is ethical and moral. Doesn't talk about buds in Hawaii. So how do you get content? Here's a little secret, and I've got to reveal what I did in my story, publishing Animal Sanctuary magazine. I knew very little about the business side of this. And Susie said, and I walked through her steps. How do you create free? Go to Easing Articles. Pay proper respect, and give the credit to the authors. But there are some that write very well. And out of the eight or nine articles in the first publication, 7 of them were pulled from Easing Articles. And I had huge success. So these authors seriously got some recognition. And I gave them their credit. Now we've gone on and we still pull if necessary to fill in gaps. We're 3 publications strong. But this is how you can start out very easily, so you don't have to do any of the writing. And we're going to give you some simple solutions where you don't even have to find the writers when we go through the rest. And you want this result, is to become the authority, to be the household name in your niche, in your category. So what I want to show you here is a short demonstration that Susie's going to show. So one thing I have to do real quick, let me pull this up. And Susie, are you on the call? I'm going to let you talk
I
through
sure am,
your
Mitch.
fingers. Okay.
They are my
so
fingers,
I'm going to,
yeah.
Okay, your fingers, and I'm going to let you, this is Susie. She's the creator of the system and my mentor of this whole process. So I'm going to let her explain what is available that separates a digital publication and the wow effect. Because when I saw this, this is what worked for me, and this is what made sense for me. And I said, wow, if I'm going to be the judge and jury of my own situation, whether I want to get involved or not, this is what sold me. Susie, you are on.
Okay, so just in this video that Mitch is just playing at the moment, you're going to see just the kind of interactive features that we have within the magazine. So if you don't want to write content, one of the great things about digital magazines is that you can actually embed video within your magazine. So as you'll see at the top of this video, we have just a YouTube clip that we pulled, and you can play away, your readers can play away any videos. You can of course create just regular pages. You can embed Google Maps within your magazine. You can be able to click right through to the Google website if people are looking for directions. You can click to call and tap to email, so you can easily contact people from your magazine. You can embed audio files as well, so if you need to have a podcast, you can put that in your magazine. And lastly, you can also add an opt-in form within your magazine. So all these features that are available within digital magazines that aren't available within traditional printed magazines, you can incorporate to make a great looking magazine that your readers will just love.
Yeah, I mean, that's what is so cool today, is what you can do that is not available on you know, in a print publication. I mean, the piece about adding video inside, that's huge. That's huge. I mean, you can see how easy this is and how exciting it is because of the opportunity is, you know, people learn and consume information their way. Some like to read it, which is the only way available with the print publications. Some like to listen to it, and that is available to have it on podcasts, which we'll show you as well. And some like to see and hear, which is video. That's the growing category that's huge. You can have a publication that has all of those types of consumption of information available to you inside your publication. And that's what gives it such great opportunities and unlimited pages. So right here, we've shown you again an amazing and duplicatable result. This is what happened with me on iTunes following the steps, you know, from my mentor, Susie, that explained how to do this. And that's what we did. So it shows, you know, we were #1, you know, what's hot, in what's new, and all iPhone apps free, and in the whole app category. So I have to ask you, are you in front of the wave? I love this graphic because it just shows we are at the beginning. We are right at the forefront, at the tip of the iceberg that's just seeing through. This is a small amount of apps that you're seeing on the store right now, inside the store. Are you on the wave? Are you on top of the wave? Are you riding it? Are you in front of it? Or is this you, where you're just seeing everything go by that's in front of you of value? Okay, well, I could have jumped on that. You know, people think, well, I could have jumped on, you know, buying Microsoft years ago, but I just didn't understand it. And even though everything showed, the indications were there, we've shown you the proof of what is happening in the digital arena. People are consuming this information rapidly. So again, I have to ask you, is this you? Are you a fast action taker, one who rides the waves? Are you in front of the wave? Or are you submerged viewing it with a camera and just watching, sitting on the laurels? I mean, there was a man named Napoleon Hill who wrote a book, and he described all the character traits of the successful people at the turn of the century. And one of the key factors that has always stuck with me is they make fast decisions. They don't sit and ponder and think about all the reasons why not. They think of what is possible. What is possible? How can I make this work for me and be first? So it's as simple as 1, 2, 3, A, B, C. You follow the system. Remember, you have the proper magazine title, which is in the popular search. You verify the commercial value, because if there is no money in your niche, we're going to tell you, no, find something else. You must have a secondary passion, or there might be another keyword phrase we need to look at, so where you can make money, because it can't be limited to what you're just passionate about if there's no money. You've got to confirm it. I mean, I found that there was money in my niche, and it's proven, and it's working for me. Find the commercial value, verify it. Select an amazing image. Draw people in, because people like to consume after they're intrigued. So the tiger drew it in. We have a picture of a Komodo dragon. This month it's an elephant. And you got to have flexible thinking and be open to what is possible. Jump in. And you have to figure out, you know, would this work for you? Can you see how I paid for this? And now I'm able to enjoy a life where I've got a very nice passive income coming in. And is it easy, profitable, and fun for you? This is the ideal scenario of doing this. No, that's not me in the hammock, but I certainly live that kind of lifestyle. I work on my computer and have my situation on my terms. Do you want that? If you can see yourself doing this, you know, then great. And I want to make sure that you determine your next move. Are you calculated? Are you looking at the opportunities that are available? This is one of my favorite graphics. Are you first in and still here? Look at the fish. Started first one in the bowl. The other fish came in and populated the category, and then they all died off. What's the lesson here? If you're the first one in your category, for example, dog training, which does not exist right now, there are so many categories inside the pet niche that aren't taken yet. There's so many inside exercise that aren't taken yet. If you're the first in, you're going to be there. because you're going to learn all the experiences of what works. You're going to be the first one to grab the premium advertisers. You're going to be the first one to find and learn what it takes to incorporate affiliate deals that make you money. First in, still here. And do what Steve says. He came up with this whole tablet idea. He's not with us anymore, but he left a legacy. He left us with great mindset training that we can incorporate. Be the first action taker. Be the surfer that's riding the wave. So I'm going to introduce how this is a huge opportunity for you to be first. And my promise to you is, if you fully apply the principles and tools that we're going to lay out in the system, you'll be able to meet and exceed your personal goals for success. So let me walk you through what we've got inside our system today. We've got inside the Magazine Trading Academy program. It's an A to Z magazine publishing training and profit system. So that's the bottom line, commercial value profit system. So Module 1 is a magazine creation. Module 2 has a publishing and training. Module 3, magazine marketing, how to get your app marketed. What did I do following the system that was laid out in front of me such that I created massive downloads that I get to profit from? And this is what is important. I want to do plug and play, follow the system that's laid out. I love templates, quick start guides. And templates are, okay, this is what was done before. This is proven to be successful. All I have to do is copy paste. Step-by-step worksheets to plan your magazine. So this is step 1, step 2, step 3. Like I said, my mind works in threes. 1, 2, 3, okay, accomplishment measure. Step-by-step worksheets. I followed her worksheet to lay out my magazine. That has a value of $5,000, $4,997. And what else do we have? Inside the template library, there's a, because we're growing with new people that are action takers, the fast action takers that aren't sitting on the sidelines, not submerged in the water. They are out there writing it. We've got a library of magazine templates as easy as copy and paste. That's how simple it is for you to profit. Sample legal contracts. Well, have any of you ever dealt with lawyers? I have. And they won't touch anything for less than $3,000. So that's inside the system, inside the magazine system. So we're going to get you up and running in minutes because of the library that's there with the templates, the sample legal contracts. So you know what contributors are, what they're the do's and don'ts of how to hire them so they don't come after you, you don't come after them. It's all laid out clearly. That takes out all headaches. That has a value of $3,000 just to deal with a lawyer to do this, because I had to pay this for another deal that I had. Cost me $3,000 just for the lawyer. So we're going to have this included because we've already done it. So it's all part of the comprehensive system. So the magazine creation simplified. You simply supply the graphics, and Susie, because we're going to show you this, will help you design the app for you. Oftentimes people get stuck here. We've already addressed the issue about how we're writing. Okay, that's easily handled. And we're going to give you another solution in just a moment, how to handle that in addition to what was offered or suggested with the e-zine articles. And there's a whole deep sea of that. Your app is uploaded to the App Store to save you time and major hassle. Walking through that process, Apple is not easy, and try to get them on the phone. Good luck. That has a value of $2,497. Magazine Training Academy Toolbox. Our complete toolbox to make you money and to make your magazine a success. Content, your curation resources. That's a tough word. What that means is, where do you get all of your contributors? And it started with me with e-zine articles, and there are endless sources. This is what is inside the Profit Rolodex. That has a value of $197. And the Academy's magazine resources, hot resource list of all the resources you need for graphics development. If you want to hire people to help write, to coordinate, that's available in there. Magazine making cheat sheet. To tell you the truth, because I wanted to get this up and running very quickly, I didn't even follow all the videos. Susie doesn't know this, Because I saw the cheat sheet, I like to go through the quickest path to get to the end result of making money and having downloads, getting my publication up. I don't get caught up in all the minutia, so I followed her cheat sheet. It was one sheet. This is what you need to do. Bing, 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 bop, bop, bop. I followed it, and I got up in 2 weeks. That's in there. If you like to be a shortcutter, I'm a shortcut to profits kind of guy. That has a value of $497. Magazine Makers Forum. This is so valuable because I belong to a mastermind where I live with other business owners, like-minded people who are in my line of work. I have gems in my pocket every time after I interact with these people because they see things or they're experiencing things that I have and I may not have had the solution to. They have the solution. So you're going to have a private members-only forum made available to you where other people who are publishing magazines, even possible competitors, but competitors collaborate. And if you have that mindset of sharing ideas openly, freely with other people in your category, that has tremendous value both financially and peace of mind. And you also get to ask your most pressing questions on the forum, which will be answered by Susie, post about your magazine, and or answered by other forum members. And you get to post all your questions about the magazine and post requests what you're looking for. You'll get answers, and you get to cross-promote your business. That's what I was alluding to and hinting towards when you have competitors or perceived competitors in the market. If you collaborate with them, I've made more money off selling my products to competing products than I've ever to cold list alone. That's why affiliate marketing has spawned a huge business. Is if you cross-promote, you're going to make money. And this is what the magazine forum will share, and you'll be able to access that type of information. Other ways that people are accessing, you can do that too. This has a value of $997. The advertiser grabber. Now, why was this valuable? Proven swipe copy. As we showed you earlier, if you remember, Susie made $2 grand in her first month with Shop Brisbane Magazine. She had a template that she had learned about and created over the years that was plug and play. Copy, paste, send this out to potential advertisers, the ones that raised their hand to respond, the fast action takers, she made money with. And they're making money. Now the proven swipe copy to contact advertisers is inside the advertiser grabber. And it's the exact process to get people to jump on board with your magazine, because the bottom line is you are becoming the toll booth operator, center of influence, and you're making money with this. You want to have the lifestyle. The end result is lifestyle, financial freedom, more time with your family. And if you're able to simplify this, cut to the chase, using copy-paste systems that have been proven for over a decade, that's where you want to go. You get all the resources and templates, and you can duplicate our results from the case studies. This is what Alice Mendocian did with his publication, Glenn Diesel, and of course, the man Brian Zimmerman, who wears the hat. That has a value of $1,997. And 8 weeks of premium coaching. 8 weeks of group coaching calls that, again, show additional ways of profiting, things that are cutting edge and new, because this is a fast-changing environment, this digital publishing. And we're tied into this. Being part of this, I'm reading about it every possible opportunity. And this is what is shared in my personal group with other publishers. And oh, by the way, folks, I'm part of that forum. If you want to contact me, you got to go through the forum. If I want to contact you, I'm going through the forum, because that way everybody wins and gets to hear about our dialogue. So you have an open Q&A on this 8 weeks of premium coaching. We're going to go through all the areas that will improve your subscriptions, your downloads, your advertisers, your affiliates, the paid component, and hand-holding. We all like to have our hands held when we are unclear until it becomes clear, and then you break away. You're the small child, imagine, with your mother walking down the street holding her hand until you don't want to hold her hand anymore because you're an adult. You have the confidence to do this on your own. You're still close and connected, but we're going to hold your hand like that of a child until you get to be comfortable, profitable, and making money and living your dream, the end result of making money and being comfortable. Time equals money. And you're dealing with the real buyers in this system. This has a value of $2,997. So all this, the Magazine Profit Machine, Magazine Training Academy, the Magazine Template Library, App Tech Components, Toolbox List, Academy's Magazine Resource List, Magazine Makers Forum, the Advertiser Grabber Method, 8 weeks of premium coaching. This has a total value of $17,176. But we're not done yet. Now, let me show you some of the other things that are added in. You're not going to pay that, certainly, but let me give you a little glimpse of what's inside the magazine member area. Excuse me, there's a little bit of a technology challenge, so I'm going to slightly get out of this, and I'm going to show you this video.
Hi guys, we just seem to have a little bit of a problem with the audio on the video there, so just to run you through what we're going through on the videos, we're just showing you the different areas within the training system. So each of the modules that we have there, you can actually, there's a video, you'll see handouts, slides, you'll see a worksheet for each of the modules, so you can easily run through each of them and create your magazine in a real broken down step-by-step process. And of course you can contact us at any stage and ask for any help and any pointers to get yourself on your way and creating your first issue of your magazine.
Bingo. Thank you for stating that again, Susie. Appreciate that, that additional piece. She's the one that will walk you through the whole training, which is very detailed, and I followed it, but you know, for those of you. Now, here's something, you want to work less and make more. And I embrace this with 40 hours of free virtual assistance training. This is something we're adding into the training for you. This has a value of $800 because you're going to get 40 hours of a personal assistant. Now this person can go out and find all the writers and contributors for you. They can do layout for you. Whatever you choose, this is something worth throwing in. We're adding in that will benefit you, okay? We're also adding for the first group of people, the action takers, an 8-day mastermind where for 8 days we're going to be on a cruise ship outside of Florida, okay, where you get to meet and strategize with experts in your category from around the world, and you get to mastermind face-to-face with other publishers, marketers, in your category, and you'll be able to generate ideas. I go on this cruise every year. Why? Because it's valuable. Yeah, I mean, and it's fun. We all like to have fun. We get to interact with those of like mind that are success-oriented, and this alone has huge value. Now, I don't know about you, but when you have an interaction with a like-minded person, it's called a brainstorm. The results are astounding. And they were outstanding for me. I've been on this cruise 3 years in a row, and I'm going to go on a 4th because of the benefit I receive. Now, here's another thing. Your personal app icon and splash screen is designed for you. You can go out and do a Google search and find out what people charge to create this out there, and it isn't cheap. The average we found was about $647. Susie happens to be outstanding. This is what we're going to do for you. And that way you get to create your own cash cow. Everybody loves my cow. It was a middle of the night idea that I had. So, you know, we've got to have a cash cow, and I've got a little bit of a twisted personality. So I thought it's got to come out of his butt. And cougarans, because gold is the thing of today. Everybody is talking gold, so why not have a cash cow? So if you're a fast action taker. So with all of the components, it has a value with the virtual assistant, With the cruise element time, you have a value of over $20,000. Okay? Now, here's a super bonus that I decided to add in just yesterday. We changed the slide last night. Okay? 2 one-on-one coaching sessions with me personally. I have never offered this. I want to do something special for Rich and all the people that are on the call, and you've waited this whole time. We made this slide last night. I've got a very deep background. If you want to talk to me about marketing your magazine, your business, and I happen to also be very deep in e-commerce myself. I have over 300 websites, quite successful with. And if you want to have a conversation about your business, I'm there for you for 2 one-on-one coaching sessions. Now, this is only for people that take action today. And that's just the way it is, because we do reward people that jump on board. We want surfers to be on the wave with us. Where I'm not interested in the photographers. We're looking for the people that are standing on the stage with us or participating. Do you want to be the photographer in the back of the room, in the water, or do you want to jump on and be with us? Get on the wave with me. I'm here for you. We've got a small group with Rich, which is great, because then I can work with all of you who want to take action, and I'll work with you one-on-one, 2 calls to solve whatever marketing issue you have with your magazine or with your business, and how to coordinate and incorporate that into your upcoming magazine for the fast action takers. Is this making sense? I mean, does this sound fair? Is this good? I think so. So the real world value is over $20,000. So all you have to do is click on this link, and it's $1,997 today for the fast action takers, the entire system. You get a guarantee, 100% ironclad guarantee. If you don't have the success you want with this publication, you have 30 days to go through it, and you can still have your sessions with me. If you don't get the value you want, we'll refund your money. And there's one thing I didn't even tell you about, is how if you sign up today and you refer 3 of your friends, you'll get this publication for free. You'll earn all your money back. This will be affiliate marketing personified, and this is the type of arrangement that you can profit from. We would love to have you refer us. And, you know, this is where you have to go for your receiving of my book, Clients Forever. Text in this number now, and the book will be sent to you, the PDF of the book, before it goes to Amazon for $24.95. This is our way of saying thanks for listening into your future. So what you can do now, there's one slide we didn't add. I forgot to tell you about. The other thing I'm going to do, I'm going to throw this in, and Rich, I think your people are going to really like it. Not only am I going to give you these 2 private one-on-one coaching sessions with me, since I had success and I was a syndicated talk show host in Los Angeles, I'm going to interview you personally for the action takers, only the people that pay in full today, that invest in their future, the surfers that we want. I'm going to interview you, and you can use that interview. We're going to record it. We're going to upload it on my website, which has high traffic, you know, under mitchcarson.com, in case you want to look. We're going to upload that to the iTunes store for you. Okay? This is the added bonus. This just hit me just now. Okay? The bonus about one-on-one coaching was available because of the registrants we had, and I wanted to do something special for Rich this time and his viewers. And we're going to do an interview just like we're on the radio. You can then claim that you are, because I'm out of the country at the moment, an internationally interviewed celebrity in your niche, because I'm overseas, and if you're in America, which most of the callers are from, if you're in the UK, you're going to be an internationally interviewed celebrity in your category by a true radio show host with a huge following that I had in Los Angeles, CBS radio. I'm not talking rinky-dink AM. I was on FM with 40,000 average viewers, not listeners, every week that were tuning in. And I know how to find the gem that's inside of all of you to become successful, to find what your hidden message is. That's my gift, my super gift. Some of you might have detected I have no shyness about talking, and but my real gift and what I'm going to give to you is finding what it is inside you that makes you tick. And we're going to uncover that through a short questionnaire. We're going to get on the phone, and then we're going to record you. Then you're going to have something valuable to use for press. You're going to have something to place on your website. I'm going to place it on my site, and it's going to be uploaded on iTunes. So you're going to get the entire system for $1,997. Click on the link right there. You see it, jvgenius.com, and, of course, Rich, the comedian. Click on it now. You're going to get the one-on-one coaching with me as the added bonus. You're going to get, of course, the profit systems that are there so you can make money. And what can this VA do for you, which is another big bonus? This is a scale tipper. She's going to coordinate, or he's going to coordinate the content, manage the process for you, because this is what they'll do. They'll watch the videos for you if you don't want to do it, and help you with your marketing so you can get on track faster. This person is your surfer. They're pushing the surfboard for you. Okay? If you can't steady the board on your own, they'll balance it for you. If you don't think you can find your niche, well, get on one of the calls with me. You get 2 of them. We're going to find what makes you tick. I promise you. Nobody escapes my verbal clutches. Invest. Just to give you an idea, what's the value of this? When I was doing consulting work, and I do very little of it today because I'm so busy with my own businesses, and I used to book 30 to 40 gigs a year because it all came out of my speaking. It was $10,000 a day. So you do the math. If you have 2 calls with me, and I can only do this because we have a small group online today, what does that mean per hour? Okay, that's over $1,000 an hour. You're going to get 2 of them. Already, you've got your money's worth. Why have I earned that kind of money as a consultant? Because of the results I have created. I've got endless testimonials for consulting on my website, so there's the proof. But you're going to get 2 of them for only the people that action is part of their being. They want to profit now. Do you want to profit now? You be the judge and jury of what I communicated today. Does this make sense? I think so. I saw the opportunity. Alex Mandozian saw the opportunity. Brian Zimmerman, who's the CEO of JV Zoo, who writes the checks for a lot of people and has created multiple millionaires, he saw the opportunity. Do you want to be on the wave with him? He's on the wave. Alex Mandozian is on the wave. His goal is to create billionaires. Do you want to be one of them? If that's not conceivable, do you see yourself becoming a millionaire if you're not there right there? If you're only a millionaire, do you want to be a double millionaire? Do you want to make 8 figures? Would that work for you? Would that work for you, I ask? So click on this link. Get on the call with me for 2 one-on-one private sessions. Embrace a virtual assistant that's going to help you with your business. And it doesn't have to be just limited to the magazine. If you want to do all these functions yourself, if you want this person to help you with any aspect in your business, he, she is there. Have you ever wondered about running your business with clients wanting to be in your club? The opportunity is there where you are the publisher. It is there now, easier than ever before. The investment is minimal. If you want to create a print publication, it's tens of thousands of dollars. Printing is so expensive. You got to mail it. This is digital. It's more profitable. It's easier, faster, more possibilities because of audio, video. You can podcast inside your publication at the touch of a finger, as Susie demonstrated. How much simpler can it be? It is up to you. Click on the link. Get on the phone with me. I welcome you. I want you. I want to help people. We're interested in creating more success stories. This is a new system for us. We can't claim pages and pages and pages because that would be false. We want to create you as the next success story. We're going to give you extra added attention in the early stages. My offer of private one-on-one is off the table, folks, after this. I don't have the time. Be one of the case studies. Be one of the proofs that are going to stand out there, the testimonials that we want to show in our presentations. Be that one. Click on the link. Start your success journey now. More time, more money. You get to deal with real buyers. Anticipate, feel, experience financial freedom like I have, like others have that have chosen this lifestyle. Create the competitive advantage for yourself. Most of this is done for you inside the system. 1, 2, 3, ABC, all you have to do is follow the quick start guide like I did, create the same results. Anthony Robbins has talked about modeling. One of my mentors, I certainly thought, is model the person that's successful in front of you, you'll get the same results. Why wouldn't you? I followed the system that was laid out in front of me. I created success, unparalleled success. I didn't have to dream about it. I just did it, and I'm living it. 3 issues in, you can catch me. Jump on the call, click the link, and be part of it. I'd like to field any questions at this time for our listeners, and I hope you've all clicked on the link to get your free book, $24.95 value, as you're going to see on Amazon shortly. And I'd like to field any questions that we might have, Rich. Are you there, Mr. Rich Wilens in Mississippi? Everybody is there. Rich, are you back? I don't even see any questions. Everybody is so involved. Susie, do you have anything to add?
I am just reading some of the questions, Mitch, so we can certainly go through a couple of those. We have a question from Keith, who has said, I'm very shy and don't talk much. Will this work for me? Keith, if you are shy, this should work perfectly for you, because I'm a very shy person as well. I generally don't talk to people, and this has worked very well for me, and I haven't ever had to cold call anyone. I haven't had to do anything that has made me nervous. I've simply used the different strategies that we have got in place and chosen the ones that I was comfortable with and created magazines from there. So certainly if you feel like you're someone who doesn't want to go out and speak to people, and you're not someone like Mitch who can talk to anybody, then yeah, this is a great opportunity for you.
And you can do it all electronically. There's no face-to-face necessary.
Yeah, exactly right. Which, yeah, for someone like me, it's great. You can hide behind your computer, and yeah, you don't have to go out there and speak to people. We have another question from Athena saying, can I use the Magazine Training Academy to build my travel networking marketing business? Mitch, I don't know about what you're thinking, but I've got ideas running through my head about how successful that kind of thing could be.
Why don't you jump in that, because, and then I'll maybe add if there's something that you, I don't feel you've covered. Please respond.
For
I think you know more about that than I do.
Yeah, because obviously the travel niche is a fantastic niche to get into, and there's lots of different opportunities that you could use to build a magazine. So whether you wanted to give advice about travel, whether you wanted to actually look at creating a magazine just for business travelers, and I don't know if you've ever been a business traveler before, but I've been there and done that, and that's a huge big industry as well, just people who are looking to get travel for their work. So certainly I think there's a great opportunity there that a magazine could be built in a number of niches to do with travel and networking, and that you could get advertisers on board for that, because obviously there's huge money in commissions for hotels and flights and all those kind of things, and yeah, and then be able to get out there and get clients that way as well, because you really are becoming the authority in your niche, like Mitch said. Once you say that you have a magazine, then people really begin to give you a lot of respect.
Huge. That's the biggest point I want to emphasize. It's not only will it be a moneymaker, the respect is you're a publisher. Hello? That is really big in the minds of people. That wakes me up. It's like, wow, I'm going to be a publisher. That's what was cool when I came out of this, is I get people wanting to come to me now, and there's respect. And it just, I was able to prove that on my Facebook wall when I put up, people will say, oh, that's great, wonderful. Don't you live for attaboys? And if you're in the travel niche, that's an evergreen category. there's just money, money, money to be made in it. And you can get some of the big travel authorities. I even think in order to garner a great piece, and this is just free data that we're giving right up the top, contact one of the CEOs of a growing airline, a hotel chain. They love to be on the cover of this because it advertises their hotel chain. Don't you think they'll distribute it inside their network? You bet you. Why? Because they have big egos. Does that make sense?
Huge sense. Huge sense. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just, there's a way, so the travel niche is huge, and that would be an exciting one for us to work with you on. And when you invest, we're going to have those 2 calls, and we're going to create the podcast for you. And you don't have to be nervous about that, because I walk you through, and I'm very gentle in that process, not as amped as I am when I'm speaking. So it's a win-win category. We're eager to work with you in that niche because it is huge, huge. If you're in the basket weaving niche, it might be tough.
I think if we can share a little bit of a story that we put together from another client that we had. We were speaking, as Mitch mentioned within the webinar, to a lady who had moved to France when she was in her 20s and had lived there for a while, and France was her passion, and she decided that she would like to do some sort of magazine, but she wasn't sure what. So when she spoke, and she was very, very passionate obviously about France and how much she loved Paris, and Mitch and I looked into different topics that could be available for her, and we found out that there was no magazine called French Lifestyle Magazine, and we were blown away by the fact that there was an opportunity like that out there. And then since then we have been looking so many times at different niches, and the dog training, the fact there's no dog training magazine out there, it's just, you really are getting in on the ground level of this kind of stuff. You're getting in way before anyone else has had the opportunity to get into creating magazines and creating profits from these kind of things. So it's like being back before affiliate marketing took off. So yeah, we've been blown away by the opportunities that are out there.
What's our next question?
I am just reading through them just now.
Okay. But thank you for the great question, and the travel niche is something that's huge, and I'd love to work with you on that, get you started on the road. On the road.
We have a question from Leon, who has said, can this help me in my direct marketing on an anti-aging product?
Oh my God. That is one of the niches that is evergreen. I think we showed that in one of the earlier slides that showed, are you in? I happen to own a couple anti-aging products myself, and on websites. It just ticks, money hits my box to do some things right. So the answer is yes, I'd love to collaborate with you on that, and I'd write an article as well. So that's the added piece, because I'm in that niche. I know it well, and I'm not going to come out with a magazine myself, but I would certainly love to contribute for that. I'm busy with my own issues, with the animal piece, which is my passion, but the anti-aging is a money maker, and I'm only in it because of the money.
And I think also when we look at that, Mitch, as well, that there's an opportunity there that if someone has a product that they're wanting to sell within their magazine, they can also advertise other products for anti-aging within their magazine as well. So if they have readers who don't buy their product, they can get affiliate sales from other products.
Huge opportunity there, because if people are worried about anti-aging and you're only selling wrinkle cream, there's the anti-aging with people that sell the, I mean, you just look at the advertisers, the HGH, human growth hormone. That's a huge niche with men that are getting older and don't like it. I mean, I'm not looking as good as I once did. So I looked at that. Hey, maybe I ought to do some of this stuff. But I'm seeing it all the time. And
so there we go. It's a magazine that you and I are both going to buy, Mitch.
Yeah. Oh, you look great, Susie. I've got 2 decades on you. So that is a huge niche. I mean, just look at the searches and the cost per click. That comes up in the analysis. I already know because I'm in it. I don't have to guess whether it's profitable. It's hugely profitable because I've got the checks to prove it. That's in a completely unrelated business. I don't have a magazine for it. So yes, you could make money. It's called Anti-Aging Magazine. I wonder if that's even taken. You know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I wouldn't think it is. If we did a research on that, I would think it's something that's available.
I know, you know, somebody who's as old as Rich Wilens would be looking at that magazine. I think he might even be older than. I think he might even be older than me. So he'll probably pop back on the line after that comment. But it's certainly a lucrative niche because I'm in it. I mean, we had some two good categories that people have talked about on the call here. And I know that they're action takers because they stayed on the call and have asked. And that's great. And I look forward to our one-on-one so we can flesh this out and possibly do some affiliate deals with my products in the anti-aging category. The travel niche is huge. And I think I gave a $1 million idea with interviewing a CEO of one of the airlines. That's how easy it is. You call, and they're going to distribute that magazine inside their organization. Why? Because of EGO. And it creates an awareness for your publication. And all it takes is a phone call. Not even a phone call. If you're shy, like the one lady, you know, admitted that she's a tad shy, email. It can all be done via email. I'd like to put you, you know, call Judy Jones, who's the CEO of American Airlines. I don't know the latest CEO there, and say, I want to put you on the cover of my travel magazine. Why would he or she say no to any CEO that you'd call if it's in your niche? I want to put you on the cover of my magazine. You know how much they have to pay to get that kind of exposure? The minimum is like 10 grand to get on the cover of a magazine. So
exactly.
It's a
huge
niche.
Huge money.
Huge niche.
Yeah. So I'm just looking through to see if we have any more questions on here. There is a question asking how old is Rich? I think the answer to that is older than the hills.
Yes. Good answer. He's got to be at least in his 90s, right?
Yeah, at least.
Yeah. I'm, significantly younger than 90, but I think I'm probably in the same age bracket as Rich, as we chatted in the on the call. He won't admit it, but that's okay. He's in
Someone's saying that Rich was born in the last century.
Oh gosh, then he's definitely older than me. But he's more immature, I'll tell you that.
I find that hard to believe, Mitch.
Well, you know, anybody else have anything they want to add, any question that might be there to help you get to the next level so we can get you published, get you through the process into the App Store, up on iTunes, so people can see you and you can experience the success, the very fortunate success that I've had. Who'd like to pet my tiger? Come to Thailand and pet a tiger. Anybody interested in that? Sitting on an elephant, sitting on a crocodile? How about touching a king cobra? I have done that as well. I'm not very
That's a little bit scary. A little bit scary.
Yeah, it was scary because if it had bitten me, I might have a different face today. It might be more handsome. You never know. It's all a matter of perception. So are those all the questions we have?
Yeah, I think we are. We'll just ask and see if anyone else has any more questions that we need to answer. I'll just read through. Dell is asking, what is the cost to get the magazine onto iTunes? And with that regard, there's a couple of different things that we can look at with regard to the actual cost of the magazine. So after you've gone through the training system, you can either opt to be, excuse me a second.
After you've gone through the training, then of course you can.
Yeah. So after you've gone through. After you've gone through the training, yeah, you can opt to either have your own iTunes account, which means that you would be listed within iTunes as the publisher. So if you wish to do that, Apple charge $99 per year for that. Otherwise, you can actually publish under our account. And then the only other thing you have to pay is just cost to host your magazine, which really just lets people download your magazine from a central server. Simply because magazines are pretty big files, then there is just a cost to cover the cost of hosting on Amazon Cloud Storage. So it works out around about $200 a month. But we can certainly teach you how you can cover any of that before you launch your magazine.
Well, that's the key part, is like you want to secure advertisers, as you did with the Brisbane publication, in advance. You walk into this profitable, making money out of the gate. And of course, enjoying all the other benefits.
Exactly, and when we did that first Brisbane magazine, Mitch, I think the other thing that's good to point out to people is that we didn't have a magazine created at the time that we got that advertising cash in from people. We simply told them about the idea, and they were all jumping on board. They wanted to get on board with us. And within 48 hours of sending out an initial email to people, we had that money in our account. So to be able to turn around and get $2,000 within 48 hours, I'm not sure that there's many other systems that you could use to get that.
No, and one that has recurring income, which is also the key factor. This isn't one-time sale. This is recurring month after month after month. And I know that you've told me you only put in about 5 hours a month on that particular publication. And you've grown it since then, which is great. And you know, one of the things that I want to mention is the people that have chosen to invest with us, you know, especially the travel and the anti-aging, which I know that those are great niches. Love to help you. You're going to book your appointment right away. Go into the system. Once you get this secure on my calendar, your appointments. So we make this happen. Let's not dream about it. I want to work with you. The whole point is to create success stories, and then I don't have to do all these consulting days this time, because it takes a lot of time. It's work, and you're fortunately the early group that I'm going to grant my time to. And so we can create these case studies, this extra proof. So you're going to get a lot of attention from me and from Susie that we're not going to be offering down the road, just simply because the numbers are going to be insurmountable, and I just aren't enough hours in the day. But for all of you that do invest today, please make an appointment right away, and let's get you launched. You know, a lot of speakers will offer. Have another. Yeah, go ahead.
We have another question from Stan, who is saying, what is the split with iTunes, and what is the price you sell your magazine for? So Stan, with every app that is for sale within the iTunes store, Apple take 30% of whatever your sale price is, and then you keep the rest of the cost. So it's up to you what you decide to sell your magazine for. I've seen magazines in the iTunes store selling for as much as $19 an issue. They really are more probably technical kind of magazines that are really specialized journals, medical kind of journals. But most could sell between $3 and $5. So $3 and $5 per issue, and you're going to keep 70% of that cover price, but entirely up to you what you want to sell your magazine for, and make sure that you make it profit.
Here's what I want to add to this. Anybody that's owned a business knows the hassle of collecting money. iTunes does that for you. They've earned their 30%, not just because they're the library, they're the retailer for you. They're collecting the money. So you don't have to chase your money. You just get your check, or your electronic check. I mean, you know, in the figurative sense. You get your money sent to you electronically. No hassle.
And probably another good point on that as well, Mitch, is that when people go into the iTunes store, they don't feel like they're buying from a third party. They feel like they're buying from Apple. And that has seen huge growth in people's app sales, simply because they have the trust associated with the Apple brand. They know that Apple has fantastic customer service, and you become part of that.
Well, that too, and people do have that trust with the brand, and they know Apple. It's a known entity, whereas they don't know Mitch Carson. They don't know Susie Black. They don't know Rich Wilens necessarily, who's the publisher. They know Apple, and we've passed their scrutiny, their acceptance process. I mean, they have the right to remove you from the library or to accept you or not. So you do get that instant credibility. You're piggybacking on their credibility. Make sense, Dan? I hope so. Nice to meet you. You don't talk much. That's just because you're muted. We'll be talking to you soon. But good question. And you know, the receivables portion of a business can be challenging. You don't have to do that with Apple, and that's why it's an easy, obvious, simple solution to let them do the collecting for you. Any further questions?
Exactly right. Russell has asked Mitch if you're able to send the slide deck, as he missed part of the presentation. I think we actually are going to be able to send a link to a webinar replay for Russell. He sent us his email address, and we can send a link to the replay for him.
We will do that, Russell, so you'll be able to go through it. So there'll be the replay, and then, of course, any questions, you can forward that on to us if you have any, since we've covered quite a few. And you missed the beginning portion. I hope you got to see the tiger, some of the other elements.
Yeah, that beautiful tiger.
I know, our first lift. So we've got Tom, Stan, Russell. Any other questions out of these folks? Keith, Liang Fu Wing. I hope I pronounced it correctly. And Dell. All right, we've got some action takers here, people that want to make sure that they're going. Get on the calls with me. Folks, I want to book up my calendar over the next week. Once you jump in and invest, I'm there for you. I want to be on the call. This isn't about some guy selling, hey, we want to do all these coaching calls. No. You'll never get them. I'm going to be following up with you to make this happen. So I'm going to be your coach and jumping on to make sure you get there. Why? It's selfish intentions. We want to create success stories so we have more credibility. That makes sense. In a short period of time, I'm going to delete that slide. I won't have the ability, because of the sheer time constraints, of being able to offer one-on-one. But your very first group, this is almost, well, it's not a beta group because we've already proven it. It's now the first group. We want to have some success stories so you can share with others your success. We can share your success with others, and it creates that huge network. This is what makes sense to me. And you can talk to me about any business issue you have during our 2 calls. We can get a lot accomplished in 30 minutes. Then if we follow up again after we discuss some of the steps that you're going to need to take, is like diagnose and prescribe solutions, which is really what I'm good at, diagnosing and prescribing, and certainly walking you through the publishing process and helping you in any way in business marketing, because I've owned some successful businesses myself and would love to help some people that are open to outside influence, outside perspective. How can you create more publicity for yourself with the magazine as a tool? If you want to discuss getting a book out in the market, I'm a best-selling author. I know the process. I'm published by John Wiley & Sons. Would you like to learn about that during our call? You make the decision. These calls are yours. These are the added bonuses for the people that take action today. So jump on. That alone is worth $1,997. And we have got, I'd love to see beyond the anti-aging, which is a profitable niche. We've got the travel niche, which is profitable. And how about anti-aging going inside the travel magazine? Hey, don't you want to look young on your next vacation? See the collaboration potential. That might be a stretch, but it's certainly possible, because people that travel are the ones with money, and they're aging fast, because I'm part of that group. Sometimes I keep my glasses off when I look at myself in the mirror until I put my anti-aging products on my face. But I'm bummed. Okay. Now I'm starting to sound like Rich Wilens. That's sad. That's reality. Okay. Do we have any more questions, Susie, in the box?
Bob has said, it looks to me like all markets are already covered and published in the iTunes store.
All markets are all published. Well, Bob,
Yeah.
I would say many are, and I guarantee you, even with one of the most competitive, like we revealed with the pet training, dog training category, not covered, available. I don't know what niches you're talking about, but if you could type that into the box, you know, we could say, certainly say, Susie, you've got iTunes open. We could look at that. Did he mention what category he was looking at? And all you have
No,
to
he
do is
didn't.
keyword.
So,
Okay, all you have to
yeah.
do, Bob, is then do some keyword research, you know, with the tool that we use, and it shows all the sub niches. We've, you know, many people, if you're on Rich's group, you've heard about the long tail. There are thousands of long tail keyword phrases that people are looking for you're not thinking about or haven't been exposed to yet, just weren't revealed to you, that are available and are filled with dollars. So yes, there are some early adopters, early action takers like you folks, the ones that are still on the call, who want to make money and may believe at first glance there's no money to be made because, oh, other people are in there. That doesn't mean that the opportunities aren't there. Weight loss is huge. People are coming out with weight loss apps all the time with huge downloads. It's an evergreen category. Bob, please type in the category that you're referring to, that you are passionate about, and I'm curious what that is, you know, that it's all taken.
Bob has just replied, Mitch, and has said that he's just had a quick overview and it shows that many markets are covered. And I think probably what we need to point out here is that there may be a couple of different things covered, but when you actually look into magazine publishing, you'll find that there are usually many different titles for the one kind of topic, and within the iTunes store there are still lots and lots of areas that aren't covered at all. Lots of opportunities for local magazines, lots of opportunities for real niche magazines. So yeah, if you have something that you are passionate about, like Mitch said, then sure, let us know and we can investigate for you. And if it comes to the case that somebody already has published the exact title that you want, then we can certainly come up with another one which would be just as great.
Well, I want to also comment, if all these categories are taken, he's talking about, you know, all categories, that's wonderful news. That means there's money in those hills. People are paying for advertising. Get your piece. This deal isn't closed. It's not like it's polluted, or I mean, or it's not polluted, that it's overpopulated or watered down, or there are too many people in it. There aren't. I'm going to come up with a secondary pet publication because it'll serve a different niche. And that category is evergreen. So I don't know what category he's referring to, that they're all taken in his category, but that's good that there's a lot that's covered, because that means there are many or more that aren't. But good.
He says he can see at least 20 weight loss categories. Bob, I'm not sure where you're looking at within the iTunes store, if you're looking at just general apps or if you're looking on the newsstand. So we're looking on the iTunes newsstand, which is where the magazines actually are.
Yeah. He might be talking apps.
Yeah, and they're quite different, because the problem with apps is there are a one-time payment. They're usually only $1. Magazines have a higher value associated with them, and as Mitch said, they're a recurring every month income.
Yeah, he's looking at apps. That's a completely different market.
Yeah.
Related, but it's not the same. You know, it's a newspaper versus we're selling a magazine.
Yeah, he is looking at the overall app store, so that's where the difference is.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so it's not, so the magazine opportunity is huge.
Yeah. So, yeah, we're looking within Newsstand, which is still a relatively new part of the App Store.
Yeah, but I like the fact that he looked and is doing his research. That's smart.
He's asked, what's the difference between a newspaper and a magazine? Usually the difference between a newspaper and a magazine is a newspaper will be more concerned with current affairs and a magazine is more informational. So when you think of a newspaper, it's usually something that's either a weekly or a daily piece of information that's published, and it can be quite labor intensive producing a newspaper simply because of the fact that you've got to constantly update and create new stories, whereas the difference with a magazine is it's usually people looking for information on a specific topic, whether that topic is celebrities, swimming pool design, how to cook Italian food, anything like that. So it's things that you can actually use an evergreen area of content for. So that's why places like Easy Articles are great for you to gather up all your content from, because it's things that don't really go in and out depending on trends that are happening currently within the world.
True.
And Leon has another question saying her concern is that how do you keep the magazine ongoing after the first issue? And that probably is actually one of the easiest things to do, because once you've created your first issue, then your next issue comes along and you just use slightly different content within your magazine, but all on the same topic. So if you think about something like weight loss, there is such a lot of content out there for weight loss that you can go on and find out all sorts of information and publish that to your readers. So yeah, it can be a never-ending thing for you to do. So certainly creating more issues is not a drama for you at all.
Well, Leon, I want to add, that's a great question, because I was in your spot 3 months ago and wondered about all these. I had all these same questions because it was new for me. Before I would take this on and become the spokesperson, I needed proof. And I didn't know anything about this. So I walked through and think of it as, I'd like to use the illustration of a physical metaphor of a balloon. It's the hardest to blow up a balloon the first couple breaths. Then it gets easier. And the first couple breaths seemed hard and was all fear in my brain of, false evidence appearing real. And it wasn't anything as difficult as I thought it could be. It was easy once I got through it. And it was those first couple breaths of the balloon, and then it got easier. Second issue rolled, third issue is simple. We duplicate, lather, rinse, and repeat the process. We're applying the shampoo the same way every month, change out the graphic on the front, same categories, switch out the animals. You and your category then you create contributors who are going to do a lot of the work for you. Remember, you're the publisher. You're not the one that has to write the articles. We showed you one example of where you can get that information. There are multiple resources inside the system that will share that with you. And of course, we're going to have this on our call together. We'll go into greater detail once I learn your niche and what you want to do. We'll do the keyword research right online. You'll know real time whether it's profitable, a green light or red light, or we go into, or where we go in a different direction. So the hardest part is only in your mind. And I experienced this. This is very recent for me, just 3 months ago. And Susie told me it's all going to be okay. Just follow the steps I laid out. And that's what we did. And then the second issue is easier, and third issue is easiest. And I think issue 4, now we've got a nice system in place, an easy-to-follow process that we've been able to do, and it wasn't, it was scary at first, all in my mind. And again, it was just the first 2 breaths of that balloon were the hardest. And then subsequent breaths have been easier. Hope that makes sense. Leon, you're not saying much, but I know you're there.
Stan just has one last question. This will be the last question that we take because we're actually going to have to wrap up our presentation. So he has said, do the sales fall off over time for the magazine, or can it stay alive and possibly continue to get sales even after a second or third issues are available? Stan, I want you to have a think about a traditional magazine. Let's think of something like Time magazine. When Time magazine started, it maybe only sold 100 copies for the first issue. Now, however many years down the track, it sells millions every issue. So the thing about magazines is that they can actually grow in sales as your magazine gets older, and as people become more aware of it and they learn that it exists out there, they tell their friends and their friends love it as well. So you can actually grow your sales over time with a magazine.
That's true. I mean, and the downloads continue at about 200 to 300 downloads per day with my magazine.
Yeah, exactly.
Growing
And I think, Mitch, is as well probably what we need to say with regard to that is you didn't even do any advertising for your magazine.
None. None. It was all organic growth.
Oh, sorry, I misread or misunderstood Stan's question. So he said, will people continue to buy the first issue when the second and third issues are available? Yes, they might will. Well, often you see in magazines that you can order back issues.
Yep.
The App Store works exactly the same way, that if someone comes along and they buy the third issue of your magazine and they love it and they want the previous issues, they can jump back in there and buy the previous issues of your magazine. So yeah, you can still get sales going on of your previous issues when you're making later issues. So, you know, years down the track, you can still be making sales from issues that you published a long time ago.
Yep. That, I was going to say the back issue piece is huge. That's an additional Christmas bonus.
It sure is.
That you give yourself once you accumulate. So, you know, it's a snowball effect, because I'm going to do that.
Sure is.
I'm going to sale, and I'll do a package, probably a holiday special, get all back issues for half off. And people will buy it. Yeah.
Absolutely perfect.
Okay.
And Mary Louise has asked, how long will we be having the link active? Rich's link on the slide there, how long are we going to have that active for?
Until he's 91.
So next week?
Yeah. I think it's going to be available on the replay link. I'll have to, that's a rich question I don't have the answer to.
It sure is. I would expect it's going to be available for at least a week or so anyway. Yeah.
But remember, the people that are going to get all these bonuses are the action takers that need to jump on today. Don't think about this. Remember, you are protected by a 100% money-back guarantee.
Yeah.
You are protected.
So we have to wrap up, Mitch. I've been told that we have to wrap up. So yeah, we.
Okay. Guys, jump on the surfboard.
Thank you everyone for coming. Yeah.
Yep, jump on the surfboard. I want to be there. Please book the time with me right away. I'm here to help you. This is an unusual offer that I made, decided on it last night. Okay? I'm only going to do this with this group that's left on the call that are jumping here. Get on the surfboard. Let's surf together. Thank you very much, and I look forward to talking with all of you and seeing your success. Have a great one.
Thanks, guys.